Hello and welcome to Campbell Diva Chronicles, where uplifting the downtrodden is our focus. Today I'd like to talk about some of the traits of a narcissist that has been highlighted in the recent story of Mohbad Imole and his passing, and the villain in the whole story, Naira Marley, and his co-partner, Sammy Larry. There are some signs that have been noted through some of the interviews that have been conducted online that have pointed to the fact that this Naira Marley of a person might just be a narcissist. He happens to be someone that portrays some of the traits that I will discuss today that might point to the fact that he is a malignant narcissist. Some of these traits will be highlighted with the acronym Special Me. That is SPECIAL and then me, which is very fitting for someone who believes that they are a gift to the world, who a narcissist sometimes considers himself or herself to be. Special Me, the S would stand for sense of self-importance. Naira Marley has come across in the limelight and on social media while answering some of the questions posed to him about his involvement in the death of the rising star Imole, as being someone who was out there trying to help him. He used the terminology and he used the phrase, "I was just trying to help him," many times. During his interview with Reno Okri, and also in the YouTube channel of True Crime Daniel, I noticed that he kept repeating that many times, pointing to himself as opposed to pointing to the victim in this whole story as being the one to be focused on. They believe that they are special individuals, devoid of any negativity or any kind of bad traits in them. They like to be the focus of attention at all times. So that S will stand for special me. The S stands for sense of self-importance. Number 2, the P would stand for preoccupation with their own beauty or success. Most times while highlighting the fact that he wasn't involved in the ambush against Mohbad and the treatment that Mohbad had received, even though it was videotaped many times and also shared online, he kept denying his involvement, saying that he only wanted the best and he was out of the country when all of this was happening to Mohbad. He was not there, he was in UK, and that preoccupation with his own importance, stressing that he was not around and he wasn't involved in it, just showed another trait in him, that he was very detached from the whole idea of the fact that he's prodigy and someone who he was supposed to be caring for and taking care of in his Malian records and label. He didn't really think that that was so important, I guess, at that time. I was out of the country and he didn't show any empathy, and I'll get to that too. Many narcissists lack empathy. They find it very difficult to put themselves in other people's shoes, to actually feel that sense of pain that that person might have been going through. The frustration that Mohbad had experienced in his label, while being under his label, was videotaped for all to see. He cried, he sweated online, he shed so many tears of frustration and pain, and it wasn't a secret that he was even depressed. And then one of his friends and also his partner, his life partner, Wumi, had mentioned that he had tried to jump from the window at one point because he was just tired of life and all the evil and all the bad treatment he was getting from Naira Marley. He actually went as far as mentioning that Naira Marley as being to blame if anything were to happen to him. The second letter in this Special Me acronym is E, which stands for entitled. Most narcissists feel like the world owes them something. They feel like they do not have to answer to anything that the other human beings and other people in their shoes would feel like they need to answer questions when posed to them. But Naira Marley has come out on the limelight and he feels mostly entitled to the idea that many people should swallow his stories. Most of them sound incredulous, but he believes, like telling us all of these stories about how he wasn't there, making us believe that just because he wasn't there meant that he wasn't involved in the ambush of this young man that led to his death. Everyone knows that even though he wasn't there, he did have some thugs and those people working under him that he could have just sent to do the dirty job for him, as Daniel, True Crime, had also mentioned. The C stands for can only be around those who he considers special, important, wealthy, or people that like celebrities, because affiliation to such people makes them have a greater sense of self-importance. So a narcissist likes to be surrounded by those who he considers to be better than him or her, who he considers to be, that can rub off them and make them look better to society. So by association with these people, they tend to look better in the eyes of others. The I here would stand for interpersonal exploitation for their own gain. So they like to exploit other people's talents, other people's positive traits, or anything that they see in others that could enhance their own image. They try to exploit it. Their goal when they meet people is to exploit those attributes that they see in other people. They pretend to really like that person. They pretend to have love and care for that person. But really, what they really want is to benefit from those traits that they've seen and noticed in those people without coming out to say so. So someone like Naira Marley now noticed that Imole was very creative. He was a talented young star who was already working on his own and who had already released an album even before he met him, and who had happened to manage to gain some popularity and some fame without his help. And he took this Mohbad under his wing, pretending to be doing so to help him, to enhance his career. But on the contrary, he actually was there to destroy this young man's life. Maybe due to envy, jealousy, or being able to foresee that this young man had a very bright future ahead of him. And in his bid to cut this young man down, he decided to get involved in his career, not to help or enhance his life, but to destroy it. That is usually the goal of a narcissist. So that's how they exploit people's talents. They exploit people's creativity. They exploit people's good nature, all for their own benefit. And I see that being a likely case in this situation with Naira Marley and Mohbad. The L stands for lack of empathy, which I mentioned earlier. They are unable to feel other people's pain, other people's grievances, other people's cry out for help. As videotaped and showed on media, on social media many times by Mohbad, he was in pain. He even said in one of his tracks, if I recall correctly, even though I don't feel like I'm supposed to feel, I still manage to find some peace. One of his tracks says something to that effect. So he was struggling to survive on a daily basis. He was in anguish and he was in emotional and physical pain over the way he was being treated by his label, Manian Records. And even though he had cried out many times, there's nowhere that it shows that this Naira Marley of a person had gone out of his way to address Mohbad's concerns or put an end to his concerns. All you hear in True Crime Daniel's videos and also the interview he had with Reno Mokri is that he kept saying, I only wanted to help him. I only wanted to help him. When Reno Mokri had asked Naira Marley, what exactly did you do to help? He wasn't really able to say anything aside the fact that he has sent him for a brain scan. Now tell me, how is a brain scan supposed to actually help somebody who is in emotional distress? Sending that person for brain scan is more like trying to have an alibi or protect yourself against accusations in the future because you already had something pre-planned against that person, so that in the event that you are accused of that person's demise or hurting that person, you would show the scan as proof. At the end of the day, we don't even have a picture of the scan. We do not have any proof that the scan was actually done. Naira Marley went as far as saying that after sending him for the scan, he also spoke to him and said to him over the phone, if that is how you feel, I'm not going to hurt you. I'm here for you. I want to help you. Looking at Naira Marley and the way he even talks, it's hard to really imagine that he would have actually said such a thing. But giving him the benefit of the doubt to actually say, okay, he said that. Talk is cheap at the end of the day. Talk is not all that was necessary to help this young man get out of the funk of depression that he found himself in. He was so distraught and he was depressed and he was crying out for help. Not just to us who hear his songs now, and the lyrics of his songs kept saying that, pointing to the fact that he was tired of life and he was crying out for help and the people were wicked to him. His lyrics even spoke loud and clear about how he felt about what was happening and what was being done against him. The M in the special me stands for must be admired. Watching Naira Marley, just hearing him talk alone is enough to let you know that he wanted all the attention to himself. So how dare a young man, a 27-year-old boy who was a carpenter a few years ago, get into the limelight to the point where he's singing with celebrities. I saw a song that Mohbad has sang with one of the female rap artists. And also I'd noticed that he has also been getting some collaborations with very, very well-known American music stars. And I don't remember seeing Naira Marley with any such internationally famous stars in any musical collaboration. You know, they want to be the center of attention. It's all about them. And it's not hard to come to the conclusion that there might have been a lot of envy and jealousy, which is another major trait of the narcissist, which is the E in the ME of the me. So special me. The M is for must be admired, and then the E is for envious, very envious. And they believe that others are either envious of them and they're also envious of others. So they're always envious of people, but they believe secretly that people are envious of them as well. Because, you know, it's what you feel about others that points to your own integral or internal feeling about other people as well. So just because he's envious of other people, he believes that others are envious of him, which is not the case most times. So that envy that he must have held against Mohbad, and the fact that Mohbad was an uprising star in such a short time, he had made and so many tracks to the point where he was becoming very famous, and he could have even surpassed Naira Marley's fame within a very short period, was what probably led him to holding back his royalties from his music. He didn't pay Mohbad what he was supposed to pay, and treating him like he was a nobody. You know, because narcissists like to feel like they are on the top, and they like to make others feel like they are the bottom. So they project their anger and their frustration and their wickedness against those that... So the narcissist projects their envy and their anger against those who they see as being uprising or doing well or becoming more successful than they are. They project their anger against such people and try to trample on their success by making them feel like they're nothing, or making them feel like all the success that they're experiencing is because of the narcissist's involvement, help, assistance, or just altogether stepping on their efforts and trying to rein them back from getting ahead of them. Because narcissists would like to be on top or always more successful than anyone around them. And if they're not able to attain this, they try to destroy the person who's working hard to succeed above them. So that could be the case here. I'm going to show a video, a short clip of True Crime Daniel. It's kind of a difficult word to say, but True Crime Daniel's clip of Reno Mokri's interview with Naira Marley. So just watch and let me know what you think. Do you think that this Naira Marley of a man is a narcissist based on the traits that have been discussed so far? Does he point to you as someone who's lying about all the things he's saying he did or didn't do against Mohbad? You judge for yourselves.
And it's been reported that you had a hand in his death. Now I'm asking you directly, whether indirectly or directly, did you have any hand in the circumstances that led to the death of the young man known as Mohbad?
No.
I wasn't expecting him to say yes. I don't know if we're expecting him to say yes.
He made some startling allegations. He said that, I mean, it was almost prophetic. He said, if anything should happen to him, that the world should hold you responsible. Now, why would he say that?
Today, I don't understand. I don't know why. I tried to get him help.
So we're hoping that a quick resolution comes about in this case, and that Mohbad gets the justice that he well deserves. So many stars have come out online to say how they are willing and able to support this young deceased star. Yabo Joe and recently to DK had gone to look for a casket, a more befitting casket for this young man, because the casket which he had been buried in was not a fitting one for his size or his image. And I thank those of you who are actually making efforts out there to see that justice is served and that this young uprising star gets a befitting burial that was so well deserved. May his soul continue to rest in peace. Amen.